to the St. John's University Power Hour number 11. Lucky 11. My name is Susan Damiani. I am the Director of Gift Planning, also the Director of the McAllen Society, which is our legacy society. And the Power Hours, we've been coordinating them for our donors, the Lachlan and McAllen Society members. And I thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited about today because I want to do a cooking show in the worst way. Many of our stewardship and donor events that we normally plan during the year always revolve around food and beverages. And so why not do a power hour, a power hour cooking show? It only made sense. And, you know, we're learning, and I really appreciate everyone's patience because I hope you understand that I am here in my dining room. I finally got a microphone, which I think is quite dangerous in a way. And slowly we're getting better and better each week on how to coordinate our power hours. But this one, I would say, was a little challenging, but through the grace of God and meeting Dr. Harlem Gunnis, who is our Director of Public Health. If you were on our first Power Hour, you would have met Harlem, and he's fantastic. And power of networking, as we love, you know, to do at St. John's, and I encourage that alumni network with each other. I found Chef Danny and his partner, Chris. And I'm so delighted here with us today. Danny is really, really talented, and you will see in a moment, he has a wonderful menu planned for us that you're going to be able to create for the 4th of July, I hope. And because of the weather, you know, the weather's been so nice, but today was a little iffy. So on the safe side, we decided to do the barbecue inside Danny's kitchen that is absolutely gorgeous. So I hope you'll enjoy that. I know I feel like I'm in your kitchen today, and I'm not through, you know, I'm not looking at it through the computer, which is really great. So let me tell you a little bit about Danny. He is a Brooklyn boy, an Italian Brooklyn boy, and he learned a lot of his cooking from your grandmother, correct?
That's right, yeah.
What better way? You don't need to go to cooking school. That's it. You had the training. I don't even know why you bothered going, but he did. He went to New York City College of Technology in hospitality management, and he's held many professional positions. Have them right up here on my screen. He's worked at the Peninsula Hotel in Manhattan, which has a wonderful brunch. I don't know if they still do, but we used to go all the time with my family. The Hotel Plaza Athenee, is that how you say it? Which is a top hotel. The Union Club of New York, which actually one of our deans is a member of, and we've went to many affairs there at St. John's. And then the Penn Club of New York. And as a chef in the business for almost 20 years, he looks forward to new challenges and keeping up with evolving trends in a very fast-paced industry. Let me just tell you, ask real quick, Danny, what do you make all of this right now in the pandemic? I mean, hospitality has been hit so hard. What can you share your thoughts about it before we start our cooking show?
Yeah, once again, I want to thank you for all of this. It's great to be able to be with you virtually today. But as far as my industry, yeah, it's very uncertain times, as we keep hearing over and over. And we don't know what it looks like going back into a restaurant, how people are going to feel comfortable doing that. And it's tough. So what my recommendation is during these times of this pandemic is to kind of make your home your sanctuary, so that, you know, you feel as much as you can. You know, it's not an easy thing sometimes, and it's not easy for everyone. Everybody's in a different situation, but make it your sanctuary as much as you can, so that you can and want to be at home and have some small gatherings with, you know, the people that you enjoy being around, and that you could spend quality time with them at home, and not feel the need to rush out to a restaurant. On the other hand, we need everybody's patronage because it's been such tough times that people have to get back on their feet. So
Sure. And I totally agree with you. I have been reading that many chefs that are not working, a circuit, they're doing a lot of private parties. So I want to add that if you really enjoy the cooking show today, we will be sending you a recording and also contact information. So if you want to have a small private party, private dinner party, as they say, the bubble, you might have a bubble of friends. It's all safe to get together during this pandemic. Danny is available, so you could call him and he could come and help you with that dinner party. So, Ed, let's get cooking. So I'm just going to shut off my video right now. So it's all yours. Thanks, Danny.
Well, welcome again. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Shu, for all your assistance in this. I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm calling this Barbecue University, coming to you live from my kitchen in Maplewood, New Jersey. Once again, I'm Chef Daniel DiGiacomo, and I'm happy to be here with you today. I wanted to share just a few of my grilling tips for 4th of July. Can't do it all in half an hour, but we're going to try and show you a few easy things that are not going to tie you to the grill this weekend or any weekend during the summer while we are at home during these times, so that you can spend that quality time with your guests. So today I'll be making some grilled summer peaches, and I'm going to put that over some arugula leaves. And I think everybody, I don't know who's not a fan of burrata cheese. It's the creamier mozzarella. So I feel like that goes well with the grilled peaches. And we're just going to dress that with some olive oil and a balsamic reduction, which I've reduced down with a little bit of honey. And it gives you that syrupy sweetness to contrast the sharpness of the arugula leaves. We're also doing a shrimp and andouille sausage skewer with some grilled polenta. It's kind of my take on shrimp and grits for the grill, kind of, thinking outside the box. That's a lot of what we've been doing lately, how we can recreate some restaurant quality stuff in our homes. I'm going to top that with a sauce of green goddess dressing, which is an herby kind of mayo and sour cream dressing with some lemon juice into it to get that acidity. And then we're just going to do some simple marinated fire roasted zucchini and sweet bell peppers that I have here. So let's begin. So my goal here today is to give you a few tips, and these tips kind of work with your indoor grill as well as your outdoor grill. It's kind of the same concept. First things first, you have to preheat your grill. For indoors, I like to preheat my stovetop grill that I have here. I like to preheat it for at least 15 to 20 minutes before on a really high heat. And for outdoor grilling, I give it a little bit more time. I give it even 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your grill. Everybody's piece of equipment is different. So, it's going to vary a little bit, but important to have a really high heated grill before you begin. That's going to give you that char that you're looking for. I'm speaking from working with propane gas outside, and this is a gas stove here, so that's what we're going to focus on today. I know people are partial to charcoal. That's a whole other ball game, as they say. So first things first, the grill is nice and hot, and you can regulate it. You can start very high, and then if you need to turn down your stove top, you can turn it down. One of the other things that I have going on here is often you see in your outdoor grill, you have that warming rack. So you have your main cooking surface, and then there's often another rack that'll keep your food warm as everything as you're finishing everything, because you need to kind of gauge what takes more time, what takes less time. And then so what I'm going to mimic on my indoor grill is I have my oven on at just 200 degrees. So that'll kind of mimic that warming rack. Whatever I'm cooking, I'm just going to put it on a sheet tray and I'm just going to keep it warm in the oven. So let's start by cutting the vegetables that are going to be served alongside our shrimp and grit skewers. We have zucchini here today. And when I'm grilling vegetables, I like to go about 1/4 of an inch thickness. And I'm just going to season them very simply with some olive oil. I have some white balsamic vinegar here today because the dark balsamic will just kind of turn everything too dark. You want to kind of keep it light with the white balsamic. That offers another flavor as well. So I'm just going to move some of these things aside, and I'm going to cut my peppers as well. I always keep a bowl handy so that I can, whatever cuttings I have, I just I don't have to run to the garbage can every single time. Keep a bowl handy. So we're using just some tricolor bell peppers today. And I'm keeping them fairly big, probably based on the size of your peppers. You could probably go in 6 pieces per pepper. If they're a little bit smaller, you can go 4. Kind of sticking around the same size as the zucchini as well. And so we want to take out the seeds, some of the ribs. Keeping that bowl handy for whatever scraps you may have. I know Rachel Ray calls this the garbage bowl, so that's her concept. One of the takeaways. So you don't want them too thin or too thick for grilling. You want them to, if they're too thin, they could probably fall through your grill. If they're too thick, it's going to take you a good amount of time to cook. So you want to have that, stick with that 1/4 inch thickness or so. And I'm going to do a simple toss with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and the white balsamic vinegar. Just a nice drizzle, a nice splash. You could do this beforehand. I just wanted to show you guys how simple it can be. You could also throw some fresh herbs in there if you have. Give it a quick toss. This goes also, it's a great marinade for mushrooms. I do this with portobello mushrooms. Whatever summer vegetables you like, whatever you have, just use it. So we're going to go onto our grill with our vegetables first. One thing I like to do is I have a paper towel handy, and I usually, on my indoor grill, I usually wipe it down. You can see the smoke's coming, so we know that it's nice and hot. I also like to give it a spray with some pan spray, just to make sure that my items are not going to stick. And you're listening for that sizzle. So going to go on with our vegetables, and then
Danny, can I interrupt you just for a second with the vegetables? Are they already seasoned? Like, do you put any salt and pepper or anything on it?
Yeah, I put salt, pepper, and a little white balsamic vinegar just before I put them on the grill, or you can do it even, further ahead. It doesn't have to be done it doesn't have to be done overnight. It's just vegetables. So, salt, pepper, olive oil, white balsamic.
Great, looks good.
We'll keep this handy because then we can keep that. So we're going to move on to cutting up our peaches for our salad. So we can And that's happening while our vegetables are grilling. So we're gonna check on those every minute or so that we can give them a quarter turn. So you can get those nice crosshatch marks. So I have some sour peaches here. For this size, I usually cut them in sixths or so. So for one peach, we're gonna get 6 nice wedges out of it. I'm gonna actually do 2 peaches today. Again, we're just gonna toss these with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. That's gonna get a nice coating on our peaches so that they won't stick to our grill, hopefully. And then these will be ready to go onto our grill.
I just want to remind our viewers, there is the grid viewing. So if you're just seeing one screen, if you go up to the corner of your screen and select the grid view, you'll be able to see Danny cooking as well as the grill on the stove.
So these are now ready for our grill. But clearly we don't have enough space yet, so we're just going to tend to our vegetables a little bit more so that we can make some space on our grill. My outdoor grill has a little bit more space, but with our weather restrictions today, we're making the best of it. And not everybody has an outdoor grill. That's the point that I wanted to make. That's what? To turn on my indoor fans. One of the things I did before we started, don't forget, I took my smoke detector down because you can see there's some smoke going on indoors. So, but the biggest thing is you got to remember to put it back. Because I know invariably it always happens that smoke alarm is going to go off when I'm grilling inside. And that, actually ours is just behind here, right by our stairwell. So I'm just giving these a little bit of a turn every minute or so that we can get like some nice grill marks on there. Not quite ready yet. Let that sit a little bit more. But while we tend to this, whatever is next to go on the grill has been seasoned and it's ready to be placed on the grill. You kind of want to stay a few steps ahead of yourself, and so that you're always got something in the works. So you want to just be prepared. So we got some nice color going on these. So make sure my grill is up and high. See that those nice grill marks there. It's important to know what you're cooking and what's going to take longer, what's going to take shorter. We're doing the shrimp skewers. I figured we would wait for that to do that last because those are not going to take very long on the grill. Sometimes vegetables take probably a good 2.5 to 3 minutes per side, depending on how hot your grill is. So we got some nice grill marks going on that. And I try not to move them around too much. Because that's the way that you get those nice crosshatch marks on your grill. That's the reason why we continue to move them like that quarter turn, so that each side can be cooked. So as I said, it's a very simple marinade. Works great with mushroom. If I'm doing it with onions, I like to put the onions on a skewer because once the onions start cooking, there's a possibility that they could fall through your grill. So skewers are a great help when you're grilling. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to that part. So got some nice color on them. I'm just going to start to move these my heat pan that I'm going to keep in my oven to keep them nice and warm for when we're ready for them. And I can actually, now that I've made some space on my griddle, I'm going to go on with my heat. Get those on here. They can start to get cooked further. Just adding another element of taste to the meat. I even like using them for dessert. The peaches are great when you want to serve them over ice cream. It's great dessert for your barbecue. Be sure to keep the ice cream freezer for as long as you can. So while our peaches are on our grill, we're going to cut our polenta. Now I'm using the polenta that you see already in the supermarket because it's firm. Typically your shrimp and grits, you have those creamy grits, but I have yet to figure out how to do creamy grits on the grill, so we're going to do polenta slices. I have a little paper towel here. I want to make sure that they're nice and dry. Let's go again with that 1/4 inch thickness. Again, this can be done ahead of time. I think one of the best tips for grilling is to be as prepared ahead as possible. That you're not tied to the grill. You spend time with your guests. It's fairly dry, so I'm not too worried about that. Get some nice color on those dishes. Giving it that 1/4 turn. You can also peppers, another quick thing. Whatever peppers you like. Great. The more colorful, the better. We have our green zucchini. We have got yellow, red, and orange today on our peppers. I'm actually going to put a little bit of Cajun seasoning on our polenta before we pop it on the grill. A little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Make sure that those are coated nicely. Actually get them on. Do the same on the other side. I'm using the same Cajun seasoning that I used for my shrimp. Those are nice and seasoned, and they're ready to go on our grill next. So let's take our peppers off. Got some nice color on them. Keep them warm in our oven. We'll make some space for our polenta. color on our peaches. The vegetables nice and warm. Make sure our grill is clean, so then we'll put our polenta on. The pan spray helps quite a bit with your indoor grill. I think our peaches are ready to come off actually. Got them right in clean. Give it a wipe down. While that is, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Back. Too hot for my tips. So while that's doing, then we're going to do our skewers. So I have some shrimp that I just marinated in a little bit of Cajun seasoning. So moving on to the skewers. I soaked my skewers in some water for, half an hour before. It helps that the skewers won't burn as you put them on your grill. So pre-soak your skewers, because I'm using wooden ones. You don't obviously have to pre-soak the metal ones. And we have our sausages here. Kind of want to go with the same thickness as the shrimp. So a little bit more than a quarter, somewhere maybe about half an inch. And I'm thinking, we're thinking lunchtime right now, so we're thinking probably 4 shrimp per skewer, 2 per person. And we'll do probably 3 sausages. I want to check my polenta. Nice marks on there. That quarter turn again. Yeah, it's making nice color on that. Give it a quick spray so that when we're ready to flip it. And let's start with our skewers. So you just take, you're going to have to do an alternate shrimp, sausage, shrimp, sausage. These have already been tossed with the Cajun seasoning. Like I said, I put a little bit of lemon juice and I put a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper. Whatever favorite dry rub you have, that'll work. You want to leave yourself a little bit of space at the end so you can hold on to the skewer for when you're ready to flip it. I want to flip my polenta. one thing with grilling, every product is different. So it's going to tell you when it's ready to be flipped. If it doesn't move, it's not ready to move. Let's continue on with making our skewers. Once again, this can be done ahead of time. I just wanted to give you guys action shots today. The shrimp will not take very long to cook, especially that our grill is nice and hot. And the sausages are already cooked, so you're just trying to get that nice char on them. And I have a nice dressing to go on top of that because, you know, when people think shrimp and grits, they're thinking of that creamy consistency of the grits. The shrimp, they create a sauce for themselves. But in this instance, it's not going to be the same because it's on the grill. So I needed a sauce to go on top of grits. Sorry, on top of the shrimp skewers. So we have our green goddess dressing. I think that was something back from the 70s or the 80s. But it's such a great dressing with the fresh herbs, whatever you have will work. Right, so skewers are ready to go. I think our polenta should be ready to be off. Let me just take out my put my polenta to keep them warm too. Put these a little bit more time. A little bit soft. So you can see everything kind of comes together pretty quickly. I actually, if I had done some of this before, it would be even quicker. You can either use that or your spatula. All right, so let's get our skewers on. Do another quick spray. Wipe off some of the things that we're up to our last step. Color. Keep it warm in our oven. So our heat is up nice and high. Right, so we're just going to clean down a little bit so that we can make some space for plating. Let's plate our salad first. thinking maybe 2 to 3 minutes per side for our shrimp too. Get some nice color on it. Burgers, Penn. We have a nice big platter. We have our arugula leaves that they're nice and clean. Take our salad spinner. Make a nice bed for our peaches. Bottom. Show the nice grill marks that you created. So we're just going to just kind of that side up. Maybe we'll put the burrata in the middle. For the burrata, I put it on a little bit of, out of the liquid that it sits in. I just put it on a little bit of paper towel. You can see that nice creaminess on the inside. Just going to put that on. We're just cutting them, cut these in quarters. These are not the larger ones, they're kind of the medium-sized ones. Want to go over with some extra virgin olive oil right on top. The burrata loves that. The arugula loves that. We're going to go with some salt, black pepper, and our balsamic reduction. Like I said, I reduced this earlier with a little bit of honey, so it has that nice sweetness to it. All over the peaches, all over.
Danny, could you just hold up the platter so we could just see it a little more closely when you get a chance? That looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's quick and easy. It's simple. That's what
Okay, I should have eaten lunch. I'm hungry now.
So we gave our shrimp a little bit of a turn. You see them getting nice color. Let's give it another 30 seconds, and we can actually bring everything else to our platter here. This is great for family style. Depending on the size of your group, we've been doing individual plates on small levels for the types of gatherings that we've been having. So what I can recommend for what's been going on lately, that one person can make the plates for everyone. It's a great way to, it's a little bit more work for the cook, but it's better than everybody digging into the same platter right now. Try to minimize that cross contamination. It's also the way to limit that contact for everyone. Nice color on our shrimp. Let's take our vegetables out of our warming oven. We can turn that off. That should turn Everything has been kept warm. We have our nice grill marks on everything. Heat on the middle. I'm going to shut off our grill right now because bags are ready to go. Cook through. Have a platter here. Go ahead and find the prettiest side for your presentation. There we go. Go on top with our sauce. Herby green goddess dressing. I'm going to give you a quick shot of how everything turned out. I think I got some earth stuck in my squeeze bottle here. Probably should have blended it up a little bit. But you can also put some more on the side for your guests. Let's give you a quick look at how everything turned out. So we have our salad of grilled peaches, the burrata, and our rocket arugula. Simple olive oil, salt, pepper, balsamic reduction. We have our grilled, marinated, fire roasted vegetables, along with our polenta that's got a little bit of Cajun seasoning. We have our white balsamic with our vegetables, and we have our shrimp and andouille sausage skewers with our green goddess dressing. Nice fresh herbs in there, mayo, little garlic, lemon juice. So I hope you all have enjoyed these quick and easy recipes. My kitchen is nice and smoky right now. I hope that's not coming through too much.
Not at all. Bravo, chef. Grazie tante. It looks so delicious. Like I said, I didn't have lunch and I wish I was there. I really should have gone there in person because I'm dying to try that. It looks really, really good. Ed, what's so amazing is you did it in 30 minutes. It seems, easy enough for all of us who are not professional chefs to do at home, which is great. We're going to give you a minute just to
Yes,
take a seat because you've been standing, and our viewers want to ask some questions, and I can start off with a couple of questions to get everybody going. But this was great. I know it's not easy because I know we did this test run. We're not NBC Studios where we have several cameras. Chris, thumbs up to you. I know Chris will show his hands, but thumbs up to you, Chris. Thank you so much for your help with this. Both of you, really. This was terrific. I was looking at the shrimp, and I know for myself, if you're not quick with fish, it could really dry out very quickly. How you were trying to concentrate on the camera and trying to cook, and then it was cooking, and I'm sitting there like, oh no, I hope it doesn't burn. And you had it totally under control. I couldn't have done that. How do you measure? Because I know we talked about this in the test run. How do you measure? Shrimp, if it's cooked, or even we were talking about hamburgers are really difficult, and people want, their fish medium. They don't want the salmon cooked all the way through. How do you handle that?
Well, your shrimp are going to tell you when they're done because they're going to turn a nice light orange color. They start out gray and they turn into a shrimpy kind of color.
Mm-hmm.
So they, between like a pink and an orange. So they're going to tell you when they're done. They're, they start to turn slowly. My grill was nice and hot, so it went even quicker, which is good. So, and then through the years, you develop a sense of touch. I know that's something that not everybody has, but I do have this sense of touch to be able to tell when something is done. And that does come with, more cooking experience.
Practice makes perfect. What if you have, say, 10 to 15 people? How do you manage people wanting their hamburgers at a different temperature? Or do you say, sorry, you're all getting it on, whether you like it or not, or something? I don't know.
Oh, just quickly before I answer
Sure.
that question,
Mm-hmm.
I did want to say that your favorite rosé would go with everything that we cooked today. I happen to be drinking that today. I think I'm going to take a sip. Sorry.
Oh, you deserve one. It looks good.
Ah, that felt good.
Is it a dry? It looks pinky. So is it dry, or does it have a little fruity taste to
It
it?
has a sweetness to it. This is Maison Marcel. It's a rosé from France, and it's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. So I think it'll contrast nice with the spiciness of the sausage and that Cajun seasoning on the shrimp and the polenta. So getting back to that burger question.
Hamburger, yeah.
I tend to cook my burgers for a barbecue on the medium side. If somebody wants it a little less cooked or a little more cooked, that's okay. But I don't know. We should be starting to get into medium rare and medium well for your home outdoor barbecue, because you're going to drive yourself a little crazy. And then what I typically do, if people do want it a little bit less or more cooked, they're going to have to start eating before the well done person wants to eat. So if you wanted your burger rare, you're up. So I'm going to tell you when it's done, and you have to really be in control of your cooking temperatures if that's something that you decide to do. If you want to take orders for
Right.
But I think if you stay within the medium range, and then somebody doesn't like to see that pink, or they like a little bit more, you're on the safe side. So.
And with the menu that you cooked today, you could prepare some of that in advance. Prepare the shrimp in advance, or no? That you would.
I did. I actually put the shrimp in some of that Cajun seasoning, a little olive oil, lemon juice, some garlic. I had that ready to go beforehand. Obviously, you can cut all your vegetables and toss them in your marinade beforehand as well. You can even do your skewers beforehand. The more you can do before, the better, because then you're not going to be tied to the grill.
Mm-hmm. And what is really, and this might be tough because you probably have cooked so many different types of menus, but what would you say is your favorite to cook on the grill?
So lately I've been cooking some lamb burgers.
Love those.
And what's nice about that, it could be a nice appetizer. You can make them a little bit smaller. And lamb, you also have the flexibility that it doesn't have to be cooked all the way through, such as pork and chicken. So it's a great way to have a little bit of bite, a little bit of hors d'oeuvre for when your guests get there. You can make them, very small, maybe 2 ounces or something like that, and mix them with some nice Mediterranean seasonings. I happen to love za'atar. It's great in ground lamb, and it goes great over a bulgur and lentil salad that I actually have a video on my YouTube channel for. You can, it's just they're quick and easy. I like to have something quick and easy for the guests when they arrive, so that they're not waiting for the main course and they're not starving by the time the burgers are done,
Sure.
or everything
Mm-hmm.
else, or the steak is done. So some nice good sausages, some kielbasa with some nice mustard as a dipping sauce is really nice. Have your cutting board set up outside. You can give them, cut them a couple of inches or so, stick some toothpicks in them, put your mustard in the middle. Nice little pass around for when your guests get there, when they're having a cocktail or something like that. But stuff, I keep going back to the not tying yourself to the grill. So quick and easy things. But the lamb burgers are a favorite of mine this summer.
Yeah, I love lamb burgers. Have you ever cooked like salmon burgers? Because I think a lot of people, for some reason, hamburgers and hot dogs, I don't know, it's not sophisticated enough for people anymore. I think they're still great on the grill, but if you want to change it up, I think a lamb burger or even a salmon burger is nice. But I think that you have to be careful too of that drying out if you're not watching it closely.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really, you have to be in control of the grill. So, I mean, on my outdoor grill, we have, I guess it's 4 burners. So I usually, once it gets nice and hot, I turn down the outside burners. This way you have some coolness on the outside of your grill, and then the hot part is in the middle. And what I like to do with salmon or chicken burgers or turkey burgers, don't be afraid to put down some tinfoil paper. This way, because they can tend to be a softer kind of mix when you're making your burgers, as opposed to beef burgers or lamb burgers have a little more consistency to them. So put down some foil paper, give it a good spray, and cook them on that. They're still going to get the nice grill marks. They're still going to get the char from the grill, and they won't fall through your grill.
I know you mentioned something about charcoal in the beginning before you started cooking. Do you see some benefits to charcoal over gas? And really determine, is that the determining factor in a really good barbecued meat, or is it the type of barbecue, the manufacturer of the barbecue, that makes a difference in the barbecue food?
Yeah, charcoal grilling is a whole nother animal. Like I said, it definitely takes a little bit more of a science to it. You got to really get those coals nice and hot beforehand. It does impart a different taste to your finished product, but it does require a little more preparation before. And once again, it's true. Every product is different. I think from what I've experienced is that the thickness of some of the metal on the outside of the grill will give you that heat that you need on the inside of the grill. So, you really have to play around with it, because every manufacturer is going to be different.
You don't have to invest, in thousands and thousands of dollars. Some people have these beautiful grills, but sometimes I find smaller ones, with the charcoal, can really turn out a good burger or so.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. If you have the time to wait for those coals to get hot, it's
right.
It is a good flavor. It definitely will impart a nice flavor to your grill. I don't feel, I wish I had the money to invest in one of those big green Komodo grills. Those are really nice, and maybe one day. But you kind of can gauge, how much you're willing to spend on a grill, as far as, what product you're looking to turn out.
Right. What other types of vegetables would you recommend grilling that are, easy and delicious on the grill?
So the same, with that same little marinade that has the acid from the white balsamic. I love doing portobello mushrooms in that. I love doing onions. Eggplant is a great one to do on the grill because they'll hold up to the grill. A whole nother. We like having corn for every barbecue.
Love corn.
And one thing that I'll do with that quick is I like to soak the corn before, take it out of the husk before, give it a clean off all that silt, soak it in your water for a good 10 minutes or so, and give it its seasoning in a piece of tin foil. So it's kind of mimicking your corn husk, and then wrap it in the foil. You're going to put everything in there. You're going to put your butter, your salt and pepper, whatever seasonings. I know Trader Joe's makes a great everything but the corn seasoning, that kind of Mexican corn that you see with the cotija cheese on top, and they even put some mayo on top, and it's got some in there. So I put that on. I give it a nice twist and turn. I even put a little bit of olive oil. I wrap it up in the foil, and I cook my corn right on the grill like that, because it's going to steam from you soaking it beforehand. It steams inside itself
instead of putting it in the husk, which I know makes lots of mess.
Yeah, and then the husk burns and the corn.
They burns, yes, yeah. But I love the corn on the grill. Yeah.
You take the corn out last minute from the foil and put it right out directly on your grill, so that you can get those nice charred kernels on them.
Oh, that's great.
You know what? The possibilities are really endless when it comes to grilling. I grill fruit. I grill pineapple, watermelon. It's great for a nice quick dessert too. Really, I don't think that there's nothing that you can't grill if you think outside the box and you make it work. Like today, we kind of turned the shrimp and grits concept into a grilling type of meal. So
yeah, I wouldn't even think of polenta, and I know you can grill it, but for some reason never would think of having that for the barbecue. So I want to remember that next time. That looks really good.
Yeah, it's really great on the grill for that dense.
Yeah, because it's dense, right?
And you can make your own, but they sell it right like that in supermarkets. So.
What about the cleanup? I'm not a barbecuer. In my family, my dad was the one to barbecue. I know that sounds very sexist, but growing up, Dad did the barbecuing, Mom did the cooking, inside. So I have to say, I am not very comfortable behind the grill. The flame gets too high. I'm like, oh, I get a little nervous. But I know that there's always some rules about cleaning the grill. Sometimes I've heard people say, no, you shouldn't wash down the grill with soap and water or anything like that afterwards. Just burn it and scrape it. What is really the protocol in that?
I think it's kind of up to you. I'll tell you my protocol, and I will say that my mom was the one who did all the grilling growing up.
I love it.
That was not. So I think anybody can do it.
I agree.
Everybody needs to start simple and work their way up to it, and not to be too afraid of it. You're outdoors typically, so it shouldn't be. And just when you see those flames, you can back away, right? But as far as cleaning goes, I don't clean the grill after every use. I definitely use a really good scraper, a really good grill brush. After I've turned off my grill, I let it cool down a little bit. But you should be scraping as you go. Even indoors, as you saw before, I have a piece of paper towel with some vegetable oil on there or some sort of oil. It kind of cleans the grill as it goes and gets all those grilled pieces that have gotten stuck on your grill. But continue to scrape it down once you when you're moving things to your cooler spots on the grill. Scrape it down. When you're all finished, turn it off. Let it cool down a little bit. Continue to scrape it. And really the trick is next time when you're going to grill, when you turn that on to preheat it, all that stuff is typically going to burn off for the most part.
Right.
And you just have a really good grill brush, and have your your oil handy so that you can keep brushing that down, and your grill is going to become seasoned with all those.
Because all of that residue, if it builds up, that's what causes the flame to rise, right?
Either that's causing your flame, or the
Mm.
fat from certain foods that you could be cooking could be causing your flame.
Right.
It's all part of how
I
you're
know.
cooking.
Yeah. Well, this was great. Our viewers are a little quiet today, I noticed. I don't see any questions. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but in the Q&A box that I'm looking at here, I think we have all the questions for today. But again, thank you so much for joining the St. John's Power Hour. I want to let everyone know in our electronic newsletter that goes out every other week, we are including chefs' videos, and hopefully you'll enjoy more of his cooking. I know in our last e-news we showed you marinating and grilling the skirt steak, and with the grilled corn that you talked about. But we'll be showing more videos of Chef Danny. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope everybody has an absolutely fantastic July 4th. God bless America. Chris, our production person, Chris, you could show your face. You don't have to show your head. Say hello.
Bye.
Thanks again. This has been great. I hope you enjoyed it too, Danny.
This was great. I thank you all for giving me the opportunity to showcase some grilling tips for you. This was really fun.
And hopefully we can do another one real soon.
Sounds great.
Look forward
All right,
to
bye
it.
everyone. Thanks, Chris.
Have a great
Take
one.
care.
Happy 4th of July.
Same
Bye.
to you. Enjoy. Everyone be safe. Bye-bye.